The brilliant thing that you've done, Paul, with putting the 5 meetings together and the initiation of this event and the innovation, first of all, not a better topic for anybody to have, but congratulations on the meeting, and I'd like to start with a round of applause for Paul for the meeting.
It's a real pleasure, and there are a lot of people who did work on this meeting. I contributed a small part, but it's been a real pleasure. And I see a room full of you here. It's wonderful, and I hope it's a start of many years to come. So thank you for taking the time to come. I will say that it's interesting that I found out 3 hours ago, and this is the reason why I was a little late to the session, is that Mari and I were going to present the exact same case. And so I quickly went back and added in a new case. So I'm going to have to actually skip all the things that he already just showed you. So here we go. So I'm just going to skip through that real quick, and then I'm going to show you a different case. All right. Okay, so this is a different case. This is an 80-year-old man.
Others over 60 point, you just show it again.
I know. That's right. That's right.
I'll bet you hide your own Easter eggs, Mike.
All right, boy. You guys from Texas are just killing me. All right, so this is an 80-year-old man. He had MitraClip about 6 months ago at another institution, and he had persistent symptoms, just was really unhappy. And this will be a relatively brief case, but you can see here on the top left-hand side, there's a nice bicom view, and then you can see on the top right-hand side, there's a medial clip pace that had been placed, but you can also see the problem here. Does everybody see what's going on in the top right-hand side? And then if you look on the lower left-hand side, a lot of color right through that anterior leaflet, both present on the LVOT view. Oh, welcome, Dr. Carroll, just in time.
Just in time.
Go ahead. So a lot of color here on the LVOT view here, and then on the bicom view, quite a bit of MR. So just thinking about this, and we have time in this session. Thoughts on what you see? Thoughts on how you'd approach this? Send back to surgery. Yeah. So there's a medial clip, and then right lateral to it, it looks like there's a hole there, and we're not sure exactly when that hole had happened.
That was when you twisted the cords.
It might have been. We're not entirely sure. There was a thought that maybe when they placed the clip, that when they were removing the gripper line, that the spear of the DC went forward and punctured. We're not sure, or if it had been there all along, and when they placed the clip, there was a perforation that simply just got bigger and just opened up. But either way, this is the pathology that we have, and you can see here in this LVOT view, there's a lot of MR. No wonder why he's quite symptomatic. So thoughts on this? Surgery? Something? I mean, plug in? Who said plug?
We take it to surgery.
Oh, Adam. Well, all right, Adam. What do you think?
Marvin and I have actually done 2 of these where we've plugged them.
Yeah.
And we just sort of used the retrograde approach, taking the JL35 retrograde.
Sure.
The wood from lampoon actually, and the wire will go through some air.
Sure.
The rail. And we learned a couple of things. Actually, we've done it without the clip, and what we've done is we've put the clip in at A2P2 to stabilize it so that you can get the plugging and move your catheters quicker. So you already have the clip, so you're one step ahead.
So Adam is we are long lost brothers. So very much like that. And so what we did is we went in and placed a second clip lateral to that hole. And the idea was that we wanted to use a plug, but I was concerned that if we put a plug at that anterior leaflet, it would almost be like a weight on that leaflet, and it could either embolize or tear that anterior leaflet and cause problems. So what we did, and this is Richard's beautiful imaging, put a second clip, and you see that second clip is right, it's hard for me to point to the screen, but I think you all can see in that top 3D view. Essentially now I've created goalposts. There's a clip lateral, and there's an O clip that's medial, and right in between is that perforation there. And then you can see what we've done on the lower left-hand side is we've gone transeptal, used an Agilis catheter through the same hole that we used to place the MitraClip. And then with that Agilis catheter in place, it's just like a PVL repair. We use telescoping multipurpose catheters. We cross the anterior leaflet with a 6 French And you can see here in the fluoro image on the right-hand side, there are 2 clips there, and then there's a multi-purpose that have been placed through that hole with a wire in the LV. And then it's actually relatively straightforward. This is despite a lot of consternation from the staff in our room, wondering what in the world we were doing. I'm not going to lie, my PA next to me, her eyes were really wide open, wondering, is this the right thing? This is the multi-purpose catheter here on the left-hand side, and you can see what we've done is we've placed a 12-millimeter plug and then pulled the plug and the multi-purpose catheter up to the point of the perforation between the 2 clips, as one can see there. And then this is how it looks with an LAO on FOSS view. You can see the 2 clips with the plug in place. And again, that second clip wasn't necessary to treat the MR, but is again to create these goalposts that I think offered more stability to place the plug. And then it's a 12-millimeter AVP2.
How big do you think the hole was?
Probably 3 or 4 millimeters. But we wanted to be sure because, so that's a good question. So John is asking how big and how to size this. So the issue here is that we know the leaflet is very thin. And the concern also is that if you know the AVP2s, they have the 2 retention discs and a wasted segment, but then between the wasted segment and the disc, there's also narrow necks. And so depending on how compliant the anterior leaflet is, your plug can slip one way or the other and essentially end up with the neck across just the leaflet. And so I intentionally oversized this because I thought that that would be a real possibility. And what you'll see here, hold on Adam, just 1 second. And so you'll see here that that's exactly what happened. So you see the 3D view with the clip, the plug in between, and you can see it's not really the waist of the AVP2 that's across the anterior leaflet perforation, it's the neck between the retention disc and the waist. But with that, it's no MR and no LVOT obstruction, no gradient, and this is almost 1.5 years ago, and he's done quite well. So, Adam?
I know, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that placing the clip is absolutely critical. So
Yeah.
the 2 that we had the exact same thought, which is, even if you could get your catheters through the leaflet moving and everything, then the weight of it might actually create malcoaptation.
Yeah.
It would be really hard to clip it at that point.
Right.
So why not put the clip and make it a nice trampoline now, and now you can get your stuff through. We used a cribiform in the first one, which did hemolyze a little. And we actually used a Gore GSO of 15 in our second one, and it looked beautiful because we actually went retrograde. So I think.
So the GSO, did you go retrograde from the LV or from the?
No, so we went transeptal, so it was interesting. So we actually crossed retrograde from the elevated to LA and then snared it. We crossed while we had the clip delivery system still in to really secure the leaflet, and after we got the wire through the perf, we then implanted the clip, took that out, snared it, and came out to the vein. And so we deployed the GSO from the venous side.
Sure. Sure.
So I think that's a great way to do it. I'm surprised. I think it probably, who knows what the right device is, but I think it's a great technique to put the clip in and stay with it.
Yeah. Samir?
I think this is something that, when we've seen this as well with the needle from the actual delivery system causing perforation. So you have basically snatching the feet from the jaws of victory, right? You have this excellent case of now I got this hole.
Yeah.
So I think this is interesting to try to do it. One of the questions that I have is, especially when the needle is causing it, the perforations may be very close to the clipping distance.
Right.
Are you at all worried with that distance that's there in terms of what device you want to put in and whether it's going to disorient or move the clip in any way?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's,
we don't have a lot of experience thinking about that.
it's a great question. So one might raise a question, why not an ADO instead of an AVP2? And perhaps an ADO with the short waisted segment and the reduced length might have less interaction with the clip. I thought this is easy enough to try and certainly reversible. We certainly left it tethered until we decided whether it was an adequate result. But you're right. Honestly, I don't think we would know until we tried putting it in and seeing what the interaction would be. So it's a good question.
But you've essentially got the radius as the size covering the hole, so that was really a good calculation, right? Yep. Okay. Any questions?
What was the LVOT gradient?
It was not. It was like 1 meter a second. It was not significant. It remains non-significant in follow-up, thankfully. Yeah.
Paul, thank you very much.
Yes.